Hello indie game fans, I was pleasantly surprised to see a smaller number of releases in December since I've been telling indie developers not to use December since chances are their game might get buried in terms of visibility due to end of the year stuff, so the smaller month means that I've included some bigger games indicated with an asterisk, but let's begin with Koumajou Remilia 2 Stranger's Requiem, the follow-up to a pixel art classic Vania title that uses characters from the Toho project, in which you play as the knife-throwing, time-stopping maid Sakuya instead of Reimu from the original game, and while very anime, Toho games are certainly worth looking into if you're not familiar with them. I was surprised to see CRUDE get a release date in December, since it is releasing before Christmas of all times, which wouldn't be the date that I choose, but this Metroidvania has an interesting look and premise. You play as a modern-day MMA fighter who gets displaced in space and time, somehow finding himself in a dark fantasy world and needs to find a way home. Our Brock Lesnar stand-in just has muscles on muscles, and I find it quite funny that he's just punching monsters and demons for the most part, although he eventually gets swords, throwing weapons, fireballs and more, so at least mark it down for being interesting and different.
This gridless sandbox building game, you play a clueless engineer struggling with the fundamentals of physics.
Speaking of weird, here's a game that had a pretty impressive Steam Next Festival in which the Enjenir is a sandbox physics construction and puzzle game in which you're building a variety of structures in order to solve the task at hand. Physics sandbox titles have their fun. Think totally accurate battle simulator for example, and add to that a dose of Besiege and you have the potential for something great.
Or explore the limitless potential of our fully creative sandbox mode where you can build whatever you like. Build a castle or a questionably designed battering ram. The only limitation is, well, you.
An interesting looking isometric action RPG is Svarog's Dream, one that certainly has Diablo influence but seems to be charting a path of its own. Most interestingly, this has an open world structure in which you're free to explore with over 100 quests to discover and seems freeform. It adds in survival elements like hunger and sleep, has Fable-like RPG elements like being able to buy houses and take loans, with your actions and decisions impacting the shape of the world. It is all with the backdrop of gods battling each other for control, with different factions to join or fight against, with early testers describing this as Skyrim meets Diablo and sure seems ambitious.
Lament your poor soul, for there is a stench of a curse upon you. You're undead. We brought you here by means of our immense powers. Your fame reaches wide across the country. The nasty rumors about you reach even further. No, we cannot send you back. Not yet. See, that's the nature of every summoning. It must have a reason. And a reason you have. You will be our torch in the dark.
One of the great indie games currently in early access is the immersive sim Blood West, set in a wicked version of the Wild West, which adds in supernatural elements like demons and eldritch horrors, which releases in 1.0 next month. You are adventuring in search of an answer to end the curse on the frontier which is causing all these monstrosities to emerge, and in ImSim fashion, you will have a number of ways to go about your goals. It has been described as a stealth horror first-person shooter as well, so sneaking up on enemies or going in guns blazing are options and is certainly of interest.
You see all those stars up there? That's where we'll live once we escape this world.
How will we get all the way up there, Pa?
I'll show you.
The developer formerly known as Image and Form is best known for the SteamWorld series of games, but through mergers and acquisitions has become a large entity named the Thunderful Group, hence the asterisk, with a new internal team named The Station being responsible for SteamWorld Build. This is a city builder title like the old Sierra games like Pharaoh or Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom, but with a SteamWorld twist, being able to build above and underground as you dig deeper for long lost technology, where I was pretty impressed with the demo and am looking forward to the full release. A title which I'm not sure is indie at all is Three Kingdoms Zhao, since I believe it's from a Chinese developer and it's difficult to find out more information about them through Google or LinkedIn. But anyways, this is a Chinese martial arts or cultivation themed action RPG set during the Three Kingdoms period, in which you play as one of the 5 tiger generals on his various exploits. It is a fantasy dramatized version of a person from history, with combat looking impressive, even having horseback combat making it of interest.
The Coronis Expanse, the Imperium's perilous frontier, a foul haven for the enemies of mankind.
Another not-so-indie title is Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, a party-based CRPG set in the grim darkness of the 40k universe, but this time set in the backwater of the Imperium that encompasses a large portion of the Void, in which rogue traders have a level of freedom that is not seen elsewhere in the Imperium. You play as one such character attempting to amass as much power and wealth as possible, recruiting your own crew and taking part in turn-based tactical combat. You have to make critical decisions to either remain faithful to the God Emperor or to consort with enemies of mankind, like with
Chaos.
Coming to us from Owl Cat Teams,
Fanatical
also made the
zealots.
excellent Pathfinder CRPGs, so I have faith that this will be great as well.
In these dark reaches, the Emperor's light is faint. It is the rogue trader's duty to navigate through this dangerous unknown. For they have
Honestly, one of the most insane titles currently in early access is Dyson Sphere Program, a Factorial-like factory builder game that literally takes it to another level, in which you're not just trying to build a rocket to escape a planet, but are attempting to build a Dyson Sphere to harness the power of the sun. Yes, it's interplanetary factory building with a huge galaxy of procedurally generated planets, even having tower defense elements as you fend off enemies. It has an astounding 66,000 Steam reviews as of recording and will go down in history as one of the best factory games ever. I was so shocked to get an email from this developer, since this pixel art adventure RPG has been in development for the longest time, in which you can find Feyland on my channel in videos that go back to 2019. And after their Kickstarter, they kind of went radio silent, so I had no idea that it was even releasing. However, they did suddenly announce it with a new trailer to boot, with it largely looking like how I remember it, but will be an early access release. They have also removed mention of Metroidvania on the store page, instead going for Adventure RPG, so perhaps a Zelda 2-like title, but as always, I'm a sucker for the pixel art, so I hope this is good, and you can find more upcoming pixel art titles in this video.